Good morning, everyone. It's Libby from Master Tarot, and fabulous to have you along with us today. I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations Warramai people and welcome Master and Noreen into the environment we're in. Okay, housekeeping first. I won't be doing a video tomorrow. I'm actually having a deep dive, full-on past lives experience with Lena Rodriguez from Tarot Down Under, so I'm really excited for that. So just because of the timing of it, unless a bombshell happens, I will be delving into that tomorrow rather than a reading with you. Depending on how it goes, I may share the video, but then I will probably just share the experiences. I do know that I've already had 3 previous lives. I know them in depth. I'm just interested to see what Lena can bring out in additional, so I'm all very excited. Okay. No bombshells. I feel like I'm thumb twiddling at the moment. So what I'm going to have a look at today is, exciting news. Michigan State in the US has put the abortion rights on their election ballot for voting on during the midterms. So please, if you're in the Michigan area, that would be fabulous. Make sure you read the question carefully, because I do know in Kansas, I think they sort of tried to trick voters by having a double negative or something in their wording. So make sure you read the question carefully and vote with your conscience, for the sake of the other women in your state, your children, your sons and daughters, and your grandchildren. A few things we're going to have a look at today. Human trafficking with Gaetz. How's that going? Want to have a look at Joseph Kafiri was the Trump-appointed Inspector General for the Homeland Security. Is he covering up the text? Maralargo, what did they find? Did they find extortion material? Apparently the top secret papers were mixed in boxes with personal documents, personal letters, magazines, just tossed, was it an attempt to deliberately hide them? I'd like to have a look at Trump's health and how he felt about the fact that no crowds really, aside from half a dozen people that turned up at Maralargo with their posters, really nobody gave a rat's poo bear about the legal search of Maralargo. There was no outrageous crowds, and if we get time, we might have a look at Trump's social. I have looked at Trump's social 6 months ago, saw that it will sort of splutter along a little bit and then demise. So I don't know that I need to read on that again, because it is spluttering along and it is starting to demise. The name was turned down by the for trademarking because apparently it wasn't unique. So I thought that was quite amusing. Okay, what I'm going to have a look at today first up is the abortion law in Michigan. On the midterm ballot, is it going to get through on today's energies? If you've got any questions or you want anything answered anywhere in the world, please pop it in the comments below, or if you feel you can't do so publicly, then feel free to email me at mastertarot@gmail.com. I think it is. It's in the About section. Okay, Michigan. The birth control rights law ballot is the birth control rights ballot in Michigan going to get through. Let's have a look. Have a look with the cards, and then I'm going to have a look with the pendulum. Wants me to bring it out. Okay, this is all about reproductive rights, renewal, rebirth, birth of something new, abundance, and very much this is the mother card. But she's not just the mother of children, she is mother of the earth, mother of all that comes forth. So it is very much about women's rights. Women's rights. But tell me, the abortion, the birth control. Well, I like to call it birth control rather than abortion, because it's not just about abortion, it's about all methods of birth control for women. IUDs, pills, hormone injectors. Tell me about how will the birth control vote go in Michigan? Let's have a look. It is very much looking at the future, about waiting for the ship to come in. I read forever ago on Roe versus Wade, and what the future will be, and it is, yes, it will be implemented back again after the midterms on a federal level, but it won't be the same as what it was. I think what will happen is unless it's life-threatening, the voluntary abortion will reduce the number of weeks, because the viability of a fetus has reduced since it was originally brought into being, the Roe versus Wade. But this is about passion and a plan to bring the ship into harbour. They're competing with this devil energy, they keep competing with this patriarchal energy, and it is all about the families and having to set boundaries. But then we have this Eight of Pentacles as well. It's the stag protecting, very strongly protecting, and a new beginning. So what I'm getting here is it's going to be a bit of a bun fight, excuse the pun. You've got these energies on one side, these energies on the other side. So it's going to be a bit of a back and forth. There is going to be some dirty tactics take place. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, crafting this. A lot of anxiety for both men and women, because men don't want to be caught up in with a family that they or a child that perhaps they didn't want or can't afford. But we also have this new beginning, and then we have the women's circles of support. So I think it's going to get through. By the time it gets through, it'll be nearly on the federal level anyhow, but it is going to be a bit of a nasty a fight. There will be that patriarchal devil energy going forward. I'll just ask my pendulum. This is my pendulum here. I'll bring you down so that you can see both my hand and the pendulum, to see that I'm not moving whatsoever. We've been practicing a lot. It's a rose quartz, it's quite beautiful. Okay, may I ask a question today, please? Question, please, today. Question, please, today. Now, going in a circle, see if you can see it turning in a circle, that's just telling me that yes, I may ask a question. So I'll just stop that. Oh, I have a visitor. Okay. Hello, Spotty. Yeah. Here you go, handsome. Okay. Will the abortion rights pass the Michigan? So back and forth is yes, side to side is no. Oop, table's a little bit wobbly. Will the abortion right, the birth control right, pass the ballot in the Michigan midterms, please? Will the abortion right, the birth control rights, pass the ballot in the Michigan midterms? It's a bit all over the place at the moment. It's not telling me yes or no. Tell me if the Michigan abortion rights ballot will get through in Michigan. Side to side, very strong side to side. Okay, it's telling me no, not what I wanted to hear. Sorry about that, and probably not what you wanted to hear as well. So I'm getting a no, whether that's because of that devil patriarchal energy or whether it's by some dubious means. It's telling me no, but that's just the energies of today. But rest assured, I'm really getting a pull to the wording of it. The wording of it is going to be a bit dubious and trickery. However, we will get it through on a federal level. Okay. Maralargo, tell me. Okay. Golden Universal Tarot. Tell me, was there extortion material? Was there blackmail material found in the Maralargo safe? Now I'm talking about photographs, videos, documents. Tell me, was there, because you do have to wonder at the likes of Flip-Flop Lindsay, who was vehemently anti-Trump and all of a sudden became his bestest friend. Oh, I've got stuff everywhere here, but this card refused to go back in. These two cards refused to go back in. Retreat and walking away. So tell me, was there extortion material, blackmail material? Oh, found. So that's a big fat yes. Found at Maralargo. Did the FBI find blackmail, extortion material? These cards are really determined to tell the story without me finishing the shuffling. There is a bombshell going to come out, something really unexpected from a whistleblower, a spy in the camp, someone on the inside, a truth going to come out. So we've got 2 pages. It's going to come from not a senior level, it's going to come from somewhere further down, but we've got this unexpected offer of information coming from a whistleblower. So I'm going to say yes, but we will just double check. Was there blackmail, extortion material? Yeah, culmination and ending, that's a yes. Base of the pack is the truth, coming forward. Then we have, I'll bring you down. I'm just reading. This popped out, so they're determined to pop out, these cards today. Yeah, 2 major arcana surrounding this sort of truth. So culmination coming to an ending, a cycle coming to an ending, a door closing with the truth. That is going to be the downfall of the king. If you have a look, that is really going to be the downfall of the king. And then we have the dawning of the new day and the youth coming forward about his every card I pull gives me the next little part of the story regarding agreements, contracts. Again, a major arcana, so that's 3 out of the 4 cards. An uncomfortable agreement that was fairly one-sided. The nudity is intriguing me about betrayal, deceit, people walking away, but yeah, sabotage, betrayal, going to have to defend himself. Sorry, I'll just pop these out and then we'll go through them one by one. Look at the amount of major arcana we have in this. It's actually telling me, yep, take notice. It's about manipulation. actions becoming consequences and being tied to this toxic devil energy, information is going to come forward really quickly that is going to lead to quite significant loss. So what I'll do is I'll just another quick. If you don't like the pendant, let me know. I just have been practicing and I just find it quite interesting. Right, tell me, yes or no, was there incriminating blackmail evidence found at Maralargo? Tell me, Meister. Was there incriminating blackmail evidence found at Maralargo? Well, it's back and forth. I mean, they're not huge swings because we're still practicing. Oh, it's getting a bit bigger now. I'd say that's a yes. So yes, interesting. That'll lead to a few sleepless nights for a few peoples. Okay. Why were the documents mixed up is what I want to know. Why were the documents, was he trying to hide what he had taken? Because why would he mix them up with personal stuff, and especially with magazines? I can imagine, clearing out your office, it all gets just shoved in a box, but magazines, that's a bit... Was Trump trying to hide the documents he stole by seeding them amongst other just rubbish? Was Trump trying to hide the documents he stole by seeding them? Again, they're determined to fall out at me today rather than reading in a logical manner. Taking stuff that does not belong to him, stealing, lying, heartbreak, loss, betrayal, despair. Always reminds me of Trump down below here, and fear of these swords. Internal turmoil. His mind is not well. I'm going to read next on his health. But internal turmoil, infighting, almost like a schizophrenia, paranoid, yeah. And then we have the seedy underbelly coming to the fore, the truth climbing to the surface and being exposed, going along this convoluted track, which is almost like the DOJ. I've made the odd comment on other videos that other readers have done to say I don't envy the DOJ one bit, because it's like they have to chase down every red herring and seek out every prawn head in the curtain rails. So it is a very convoluted track that they have to travel down. A lot of dead ends, red herrings, squirrel moments to actually get to the truth, but it will be exposed. It will come forward. Again, we have this whistleblower, this page, and then we have the investigation. Yeah. So, doesn't tell me yes or no. In fact, most of them are no cards, but it is telling me that he just stole them. It's going to lead to heartbreak. He's in a real internal mental turmoil in regards to that, because this is the mental health, this is the lunatic card as well. He's just, I don't even know if he comprehends how serious what he's done, but this whistleblower that's going to lead to is helping with the investigations and conviction. I want to have a look at Trump's health. What cards will I use for that? I might use my runic tarot for that. His actual health. And then we might leave. Oh, wouldn't mind looking at the human trafficking as well. How that court case is going. I'd like to know if it'll take DeSantis with it. I really think it will. Okay, tell me about Trump's health. Oh, had to laugh. Heard him described the other day as duck l'orange. Personally, I prefer to drop the D on duck. Use your imagination. I don't think you need to. F l'orange. Well, I was thinking about Trump. Here's this five of Pentacles. Still learning this deck. The Pentacles are all beat up, out in the cold, wounded, disabled, moral corruption, out in the cold, irrelevant, unwanted. Okay, so tell me the story about Trump's health. Let's have a look at Trump's health. Let's have a look at Trump's health. Tell me about Trump's health now and going into the future. Don't worry about him for 2024. He's not going to make it. Page of Swords. Again, third time today. Page of Swords. Whistleblower in the camp coming forward with information. Spy in the camp. Okay. Tell me about Trump's health now and in. So the truth is going to be brought out by somebody who's in the inner circle. And it's going to, don't read upside down. I just picked it up upside down, jumped out again. It is information that's going to be brought forward very quickly. And it's going to be related to the collapse of Trump Org itself. Tell me about Trump's health. He's not going to be able to cope with losing entertainment purposes only, allegedly, the seizure of basically all of Trump Org. And if you do a Google on what's contained in it, there's a lot of buildings, assets, shares, you name it. There's a lot in there. 500 or something different items, buildings, something around about that number, all over the world. Tell me about Trump's health now and going forward. Tell me about Trump's health now and going forward. Thank you. Just move that out of the way. Okay, what have we got? Okay. At the moment, 9 of Pentacles. If you remember this card in other decks, it's the figure in the garden, the gilded garden, independent, living a life of luxury, sitting back and just raking it all in, however, trapped also by this gilded cage. So that's him currently. Challenged by the Hanged Man. Love this card. He's not exactly just suspended. He's looks like he's very much in motion, but this luxury is going to be paused, going to be stopped. And I just am always drawn to the fact that he's got this axe in one hand, and I'm not quite sure what he's got in the other, whether it's a mace or another axe. The quivers in his, the arrows in his quiver, but it's going to be stopped, this life of luxury that he's got. 8 of Swords, he's going to find himself restricted. Now, I've never seen him go to jail, but whether he gets home detention, but if he loses all his assets, Where is that home detention going to be? It's not going to be Maralargo or Trump Tower. So he is going to be restricted, but he's also at the moment mentally restricted as well. He doesn't know which way to turn. In the past, we have the star. Now, the star often means hope and respite and restoration and all sorts of wonderful things. But I think what this one is about his star, Trump's star power, his ego, his self-imposed glory that he has feels like he has battled for. But it is in the past. His star is in the past. Crowning the reading, wow. This is his health. Doesn't necessarily mean physical death. Doesn't look good though. Okay. Immediate future. Taking what he can and scurrying. I haven't seen him go overseas. I don't know where he would go, to be honest, because now that he's irrelevant and powerless, I don't know that any country particularly wants him. But if you have a look at his tiny little squirrel in relation to this huge dragon, so he is just taking what he can and bolting for the hills, trying to recover what he can. Externally, loss, great loss, emotional loss. The tipping over of these cups. Actually, I got these few of these cards for Putin the other day on Putin's Health as well. Tipping over these cups one by this desolate, decaying figure. If you have a look, the face is half skull, half human. So, inch by inch, his health externally is being poured down the drain. Okay, internally, he's holding on tight at the moment to his family. Hopes and fears. Celebration. 10 of Cups often means my voter card, but I think he thinks it's going to work out okay because, hey, he's Donald Trump and he's never been held accountable for anything in his life and he doesn't know any different. So I think this is his hope, that it's all going to be hunky-glory and he's going to be able to celebrate. However, the outcome is the Magician, the King of Wands, the lawmakers, and complete and utter downfall. Something really powerful being manifested, being brought to the fore by the lawmakers that's going to lead to his complete and utter downfall. We have the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the 8 of Swords. The truth is going to pierce him really badly. He's going to find... So we've got restriction, we've got... This almost looks worse than the 10 of Swords. This is, in other decks, it's the anxiety, sleeplessness, fear of what's the truth coming for you. But this actually looks worse than the 10 of Swords because he's got the swords piercing through him. And then we have the 10 of Swords. Just seeing what's on the base. So if we have a look across here, it's not looking good for his health. There's actually the only 2 cards here that are half decent are these 2, which is his internal thoughts, his internal beliefs, and his hope. But neither of those are based in reality at the moment. So that's not looking good for his health. Okay. Was he outraged? Come on, pendulum. Come, let's have a look. Was he outraged that there weren't mass protests. Let's have a look. Hang on, I'll just bring this. Sorry, I'm looking a bit lumpy there today. It's because I'm sitting slouched in my chair. Okay, just do that up a little bit tighter so we get the whole thing in view. Tell me, Meister, is Trump outraged that there wasn't? How did Trump? Yes, was he unhappy that there weren't mass crowds protesting against the Maralargo search? Was he upset that there weren't massive crowds protesting the Maralargo search? Well, I think that's pretty much of a yes, so he was upset about that. Okay, last but not least, let's have a look at Mr. Matt Gaetz in regards to the... I did read on this a while ago and saw that he would go down, but we'll have another look. Tell me about my mystical manga cards. Just split the deck as I do before I start poker shuffling, and we've got his circles of support and then death. Is Matt Gaetz going to go down for... I'm going to ask specifically human trafficking. Isn't it funny how everything they seem to accuse the Democrats of? Remember apparently the Clintons were running a sex trafficking business out of the basement of a pizza parlour that didn't even have a basement, you know, that sort of thing. That they seem to accuse the Democrats of doing, or others of doing. They seem to just be fully involved themselves. So basically anything that they accuse others of doing, you can say, well, they're doing it. Okay, will Matt Gaetz be found guilty of human trafficking? Will Matt Gaetz... I haven't looked to see how his court case is going at the moment. Can't even remember what it's about, but it's about something to do with Epstein and trafficking. It's been very, very slow. Tell me, will Matt Gaetz go down? Is he up for election? I know DeSantis is. Will Matt Gaetz go down for human trafficking? Will Matt Gaetz go down? What's flipped over there? He's really anxious about it. He's really anxious about the truth coming out. Okay. There is truth there that he does not want known. Oh, what's that that's flipped over as well? Foolishness. Just sheer idiocy. Tell me, will Matt Gaetz go down for human trafficking? Let's have a look. Yep. Don't know that I can get any clearer than that. Yes, lies, betrayal, lies, deceit, stealing of the truth. He's under investigation. It was inevitable that he would be caught. He is being brought to judgment. That's in the past, so they are. It's in the process at the moment. Oh, boy. Things are going to be exposed. Really quite vile, just vileness, just things that us normal humans are just going to be absolutely revolted by. The lawmakers in the immediate future, externally, he thought he was as smug as, he thought he had won the battle, but he's been turned on. They're throwing down their truths, and he's been turned on. Betrayal, deceit, internally, emotionally overwhelming. He's finding this process quite overwhelming. Hopes and fears, illusion and delusion. He's hoping he can sprinkle enough fairy dust in the eyes, devil dust in the eyes to make it just go away, but he's under this delusion that it's all going to be hunky-dory, that it's just going to go away, sweep it under the carpet. Outcome, interesting. Okay, I'm going to say this was the plan to traffic, because you've got this young woman being presented to this man. He's very anxious about this. There's going to be full exposure, and it's going to be information brought forward very quickly that he's going to have to try and defend himself against, but we have this loss. Ooh, interesting. We've got the King of Coins. So it was all about the money. There's a harsh truth going to come forward in regards to the mercenary behaviours that went on in the past. What have we got here? Actually, this is my wish fulfillment card. Wish fulfillment, but also smug merchant. Sorry, I was getting my cards mixed up. So if we go back to that, all these different decks, we have this, he thinks it's all going to be hunky-dory. He's finding it, internally, he's really trying to draw on all his favours that he's owed. He's really scrabbling hard for this. Partnerships, agreements, relationships. He thinks it's going to be hunky-dory, but we have this trafficking, anxiety, full illumination, information coming forward which he's going to have to defend himself against, and then loss. And so on the base of the pack we then have, it was all about the money, it was all about, oh gosh, I hope they take the next level up, down. It was all about the wealthy US, worldwide, the wealthy, allegedly entertainment purposes only, paying money for it. There's a harsh truth going to come forward in regards to this mercenary behaviour that occurred in the past. Okay, so yeah, I'm interested to see how that court case is going to turn out and how that is going to go forward. I think he's going to take Satan down with him. Sorry, I didn't mean to say to Satan. I'll just have a little ask. Just have a little ask. And then that will do us for today. Will Gaetz take the Satan down with him? Will Matt Gaetz take Ron DeSantis down with him? Will Matt Gaetz, please Master, yes or no? Will Matt Gaetz take Ron DeSantis down with him? Matt Gaetz take Ron DeSantis. Is that a yes? Can you give me a really big, if it is a really big yes? Well, I'd say that's a yes. So thank you for joining me. As I said, if you don't like the pendant, please let me know. I'm still practicing with it, so it might not be as quick. But thank you for joining me. Love to you all. Any questions, pop them below or email me. Stay strong. What have you got? You've got 9 weeks to the midterms, so keep an eye out to see when early voting is happening in your neck of the woods. If you have any questions for around the world, please ask away. I'm quite happy to read on little unusual snippets that you might be interested in. For example, the Port Lock reading was quite fascinating the other week. So thank you for joining me. Observe, do what you can, stay safe, don't get consumed by the rabble that's going on. It is going to be fabulous going forward. So thank you for joining me. Take care. Love to you all. Bye-bye.